Welcome to Hit or Miss. Today we're taking a look at Demon Slayer Season 3, the Swordsmith Village arc. I know I'm really late to the party and that the season ended a good minute ago, but here we are. Let's talk about it. Now, this was a season I was coming into with, I wasn't really too crazy about it, but I was coming in with just tempered expectations. Season 2 I was extremely happy with. I really enjoyed it a lot, and I couldn't wait for Season 3, but as time progressed, of course, as you wait for any new season, then it kind of just, it just goes back kind of lowered. But for Season 3, I came in there, I was just like, you know what? Let's see what it has to offer. First episode, I was like blown away. I was like, all right, hey, this is just kind of fire. I'm not gonna lie. I was sitting there, I was like, all right, hey, this started off pretty fire. But as time progressed, I kind of started to have that excitement and hype just kind of, it just dwindled away. Like, it's not to say that Season 3 was bad. The narrative was all right. I wasn't like too crazy about it either. I think it had some interesting points in it. But overall, for the most part, it was just kind of like, it's all right. Season 2 was a lot more, I guess maybe it's because Season 3 just felt like it didn't make sense pacing wise. I think if they had their pacing on point, it would have been a lot better. So I won't go into spoilers too much, but this season primarily focuses on Tanjiro, the Mist Hashira, and the Titty Hashira. I forgot her name, but those are the three people that are pretty much a part of this entire season. The regular team from the previous seasons are not a part of this one, so they don't really have any time to shine other than, I guess, in the first episode, if you will. Well, for the most part, it's just focused on the Hashiras and Tanjiro, and then another character that I will not spoil. Another focal point of the season is you have two upper ranks, which in my opinion are really not that great. Again, comparing to Season 2, I just don't think that they were, I don't know. I just felt kind of let down because a majority of this season and the way the fights were handled were just kind of lackluster, I guess. It never really felt like things were on the line, if that makes sense. If you've seen Season 2, then you will know what I'm talking about once you see this season. But I never really felt like the danger was present or like the stakes were really high. It never really felt like that was sinking in at any moment for me. And I think that was part of the reason why I was kind of just disappointed. For a majority of the season, one of the upper ranks spends a majority of every episode just talking. You don't really get to see them do anything that's cool or badass. They don't really do anything that I guess blows your mind away. You're not really like having a spectacle. I mean, there's a couple moments where they shined, I guess. And then, of course, just like every season, they add like a little backstory for how this upper rank and what tragic story they had before they became a demon, which I read around. A lot of people don't give a fuck about it. They feel like it's just kind of shoehorned in there. For me, I'm kind of indifferent to it. Personally, for me, I don't think there's any value added to them. I guess maybe the extra moment where like, well, fuck that demon. He's a piece of shit, you know, other than that. But for the most part, I've never really felt like there was any value added to them. So if they took it away, I wouldn't care. But I guess it's good for anyone who wanted more backstory to the demons. Alongside that demon, there's another upper rank that is present throughout this entire season. And I think they're a little bit cooler. But at the same time, I feel like a lot of the steam that was going on with that upper rank kind of loses steam about, I wouldn't say mid, but more like a third way through the season. That's where I kind of felt like, all right, is anything cool gonna happen? Is anything crazy? Anything that I guess just moves things to where the stakes keep getting higher and higher? And maybe I perceive this wrong, but normally I think the higher the rank, then the more deadlier or the stronger that demon is. But compared to the demons from last season, I think those were a lot stronger and they were a lot more ruthless versus the ones from this season. But that's just how I view it for this season. I don't think that they were bad. I don't think they were trash. But I do think when you compare it to the other season, because I mean, come on now, you're going to have to at this point, right? Like every season you want it to be better. You want it to keep one up in itself. And this season, I feel like it doesn't do it. I think it's just kind of flat. It's just kind of stale. I do think that they focused on one character a little bit too much throughout the season. I feel like maybe they could have sprinkled it out more. And again, maybe that just comes from me and maybe not having as much of an investment towards one specific character. But I do think that they gave him a fuckload of time throughout this entire season. I was kind of like, another episode dedicated to this person. All right, I'll watch it. But I just kind of want to go back to more like, it's not like flashback episodes. I don't want to give like that impression either. It's just like a lot of backstory, a lot of development, which is fine. But I do think that the pacing of telling that story could have been done better. And I think that's just generally my entire opinion of this entire season, is that the pacing could have been done better. I think some things just went on way too long. Some things kind of went a little bit too fast. And then, of course, the finale was pretty good in its own right. I actually think that was the best episode of this entire season. but just getting to that moment is kind of like, fuck, I had to go through a lot of mud and sludge just to get to this, rewarding part of the entire season. But overall, I mean, I do still think that this season was a hit. I don't think it was trash. I don't think it was awful, but I do think that when you compare it to season 2 and season 1, that this season kind of just leaves you kind of disappointed. Like, you're just kind of wanting more. You didn't really explore much this season. You don't go really off venturing into different locations visually. You had a couple points at the beginning of the season, but then for the most part, you're in like these two same spots a majority of the season. I guess that's part of what alludes to it. And then with the backstory and in my opinion, not great pacing, then it just kind of makes things feel like they go on for eternity when you kind of just want things to keep moving along at a decent pace. And I just want to add in that the animation is still beautiful. It's not bad. It's not like it's downgraded from one season to the next. I actually think it gets better. I think every season they continue to improve and it just looks better and better. It's just that I wish they could have used that artistic talent to have more areas to explore. But at the same time, I do understand that they're working with the manga and they have to work with the source material they have. They can't just go willy-nilly and just start implementing random new locations just out of their ass that are not in canon to the story itself. So I do get that. Anyways, yeah, thank you for watching. Have a great day. Yeah.